I have a criminal record from the Philippines. Am I a hopeless case? We are a young couple with a toddler. How do we migrate to Canada? How long does it normally take to become a PR from start to finish and why? Hi, this is Lou, your immigration lawyer. This is 10 Questions with Lou. Let's begin. I'm a student finishing my college degree and I dream of living and working in Canada. So I presume nag-aaral ka sa Philippines. What things should I be working on while I am in school to increase my chances of getting into Canada as a working student or as a worker? Alright. So, unang tanong ko siguro sa'yo, anong tinitake mong course? Ano yung course mo? Itong course mo ba, papunta dun sa mga high priority occupations ng Canada, especially in healthcare, for example. Ang problema kasi, if ang course mo is more on business, liberal arts, so medyo fluffy. Not to say na fluffy lahat itong mga programs na to, but rather, hindi siya yung hinahanap ng Canada. Medyo mahihirapan ka in order to come to Canada as a student or even as a worker in the future to get permanent residence. Sa kabilang banda, ano pa bang pwede mong gawin? Well, enjoy your student life, pero masasuggest ko dito, pwede siguro mag-take ka ng French classes to supplement your education sa university or sa college. Kasi napakalaking bagay if you speak French as a second or third language because it's one of Canada's official languages. And sumo total, yung mga immigration programs ng Canada, merong special apportionment for French. If you speak French, mas malaki yung chances for PR. Or if you want to work in Canada, there's a special visa na ang daming shortcut para makuha yung visa na yun if you speak French. Is it easier for me to become a PR in Canada if I am a student there first? That's an excellent question. So, madami kasi sa mga kababayan natin pumapasok as international student. Naging popular to since 2018. Ang rason kung bakit sila pumapasok sa Canada as international student ay pinapataas nila yung points nila sa express entry, which is Canada's main gateway to become a permanent resident. So in other words, stepping stone ang pagiging international student para makakuha ng credentials. Pangalawa, dahil kapag nag-international student ka sa Canada at tama ang programa mo, pwede kang makakuha ng post-graduation work permit na pwede kang magtrabaho sa Canada at eventually makakuha ka ng ruta papuntang permanent residence dahil nakaka-accumulate ka ng iyong skilled work experience in Canada. How long does it normally take to become a PR from start to finish and why? Well, depende. Anong programa ang pinasok ninyo? Federal ba yan, kagaya na express entry? Kasi kapag express entry, yung processing times nila nakapost sa kanilang website. And usually, nakikita natin to from start to finish. Usually, mga around 6 to 12 months, sabihin na natin. Pero bibilangin lang natin yung time ng application. Dahil marami pang mga iba proseso before application, kagaya ng pagkalap ng mga dokumento to enter express entry itself. Meron din naman iba sa provincial nomination, kagaya ng Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program, actually mas mahaba. Kasi kailangan makakuha ka muna ng Certificate of Nomination from the province. And in itself, typically, ilang buwan ang hihintayin ninyo para makuha ninyo yan. So, kung PNP, mag-budget ka ng mga 2-3 years maybe. Kapag ka express entry, mga 1 taon. What is an ECA? And why is it important? Yung ECA, yung Education Credentials Assessment, o tinatawag ng iba, ECA. So, itong si Canada, nag-decide na para patas ang laban, dahil nga labanan to for permanent residents, gusto nila na yung mga may foreign credentials, i.e. yung mga nakagraduate sa labas ng Canada, ay may submit nila yung kanilang credentials at may mag-evaluate. Halimbawa, ang isang bachelor's na na-complete ninyo sa Pilipinas, equivalent pa ito sa isang 4-year full bachelor's in Canada. So kung may equivalency yan, may points kasi yan. Pwede rin kasing sabihin nila na itong bachelor's na to, equivalent lang to a 2-year diploma. Depende yan sa program ninyo, depende kung paano nakastructure, depende rin sa school, depende rin sa provider. I would advise, do your research first kung anong ECA or ECA ang pinakamaganda sa sitwasyon ninyo. Question number 5. Okay, next. Where in Canada do I have the best chance of obtaining permanent residence? Well, depende. Kasi traditionally, titignan natin yung programs federally. So, ibig sabihin, anywhere in Canada but Quebec, yun yung mga federally run programs. Yun yung sa express entry. So, Federal Skilled Worker, Canadian Experience Class, Skilled Trades, category-based. Pero kung titignan niyo yung mga probinsya, meron siyang mga kanya-kanyang programa at iba-iba yung mga priorities nila. Halimbawa, itong Atlantic Provinces, pwedeng nakafocus sila sa agri-food, lalo na dun sa fisheries sector. Pwedeng sa Ontario naman, nakafocus sila sa financial services, whereas yung British Columbia naman, nakafocus sa technology or tech. So, depende sa sitwasyon ninyo, depende sa profile ninyo, depende sa age ninyo, doon natin madedetermine kung saan ang pinakamabilis kung saan kayo magpa-permanent residence. Call me. What is criminal inadmissibility? I have a criminal record from the Philippines. Am I a hopeless case if I have a criminal record? Well, ang tanong, depende. Kasi dito natin makikita yung tinatawag na equivalency test or ang tinatawag ng mga abogado dito is yung double criminality. Kasi pwede kasing krimen ito sa Pilipinas, halimbawa, pero hindi naman siya krimen sa Canada. Halimbawa, meron tayong criminal libel sa Pilipinas. Pero sa Canada, walang criminal libel. So, maaaring na-convict ka nga, nasentensyahan ka, na-serve mo sa Pilipinas yan. Kailangan mo pa rin siyang i-disclose sa Canada for the sake of disclosure. Pero huwag kang mag-alala kasi hindi naman necessarily criminal ito. But the best way to go about this is consult with an immigration lawyer who has experience dealing with criminal inadmissibility because there is a legal test to follow there at kailangan familiar sila sa ginagawa nila. So do your research when it comes to criminal inadmissibility dahil ang consequence nito pwedeng ma-affect kayo at pati na rin ang inyong family ninyo at pwede kayo maging inadmissible or maban sa Canada for at least 5 years. What is medical inadmissibility? Pinapa-breakdown dito, ano daw ba yung medical conditions na, quote, may pose a danger to public health or public safety in Canada or is likely to result in excessive demand on health or social services. Examples, ano daw ba? For the longest time, itong medical inadmissibility, may mga kinoconsider talaga na outright halos hindi po pwede sa Canada. So kung HIV positive, mahirap. So kailangan na usually ng special dispensation and permission from Canada. Pero ultimately, itong medical inadmissibility kasi, titignan nila kung yung condition ninyo ay magpo-pose ng danger sa Canadian public. So ito ba infectious disease na pwedeng mag-spread at walang potential cure? So magiging burden ba ito sa healthcare system ng Canada? Pangalawa, kung yung condition naman ninyo, medical condition is continuing, meron ba tong excessive demand sa social and health services of Canada? For example, yung classic dito na favorite kong gamitin kapag ina-explain ko is autism. So depending on the severity of the condition, pwede kasing malakas yung demand sa social services at pwedeng mag-create ng excessive demand that would lead to inadmissibility. Pagdating sa pag-evaluate ng inadmissibility for excessive demand, tinitignan yung care threshold. In other words, from time to time, yung immigration maglalabas ng scale, may chart. So kapag kayong average cost for a particular type of disease or ailment or condition ay mas mataas dun sa normal or average demand ng isang average Canadian, ito'y ko-consider nila as excessive. Pero may ways to mitigate that. Hindi ibig sabihin kapag sumobra, medically inadmissible ka na. May strategies to cope. Give us a call and we'll be able to help. Question 8. Sige, show by example daw. Can you give me a sample score of an average Filipino graduate? Anonymously daw. So for example, isang Filipino grad from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, age 27, nakapagtrabaho ng 3 taon na, halimbawa sa San Miguel Corporation, nakatapos ng Bachelor's in Chemical Engineering, perfect niya yung language test course niya, 10s out of 10s. Tapos, yun nga, may 3 years work experience na, at meron siyang kapatid sa Canada. So, be-breakdown natin to. Itong average bachelor's grad na may 3 years experience, perfect English, yung score niya magla-land somewhere at around 445. Assuming that this person is still under 30 years old. Kasi kapag ka nakatungtong ka ng age 30 sa express entry, dahan-dahan nababawasan yung points mo. Pero in terms of adaptability, ito na. Sinabi ko kanina, meron siyang kapatid na Canadian permanent resident or Canadian citizen na nakatira na sa Canada. may extra 15 points po siya. So in other words, yung 445 niya, aakyat siya to 460. The bottom line question is this person competitive in Canada? Currently, unfortunately, no. Dahil yung putulan, yung cutoff score nga ay nasa mga low 500s. Pero eventually, we're hoping na itong person, hypothetical person na ito, kaya niyang i-increase yung scores niya through other points, through education in Canada, or potentially working in Canada, or even learning French. We are a young couple with a toddler. Let's assume late 20s, early 30s. How do we migrate to Canada? Well, the toddler, hindi naman siya factor. Pero obviously, on a human scale, medyo mahirap to kung papasok kayo as international students because that's one pathway. Pangalawang pathway, baka naman from the get-go, malakas na yung human capital ninyo. Tapos, let's say, work in a critical sector, baka may provincial nomination program na pwedeng makuha kayo. Halimbawa, si mom works as a nurse. Tapos, may experience na siya, may education, may language test na. If mom qualifies under one of the provincial nomination programs na nakatarget sa nurses, pwedeng makuha na siya at kasama na yung buong pamilya. So in other words, hindi naman kailangan dumaan pa kayo dun sa, let's say, dun sa obstacle course ng pagiging international student. Pwede rin naman makapasok kayo as a permanent resident. Siguro ang titignan na lang natin is timing because right now, medyo competitive pa rin siya. But I think we will see a stabilization of sorts in the program in the coming months, if not in the coming years. All right, question 10. It's a request for definition. Ano ba yung score-based system at paano ba makakuha ng mataas na score? Well, I think this person is asking specifically about express entry. Ito yung main entrance or gateway to Canada. It's an intake system at maraming programa na nandoon. So in other words, itong si Canada, i-rate yung factors mo, yung tinatawag niyang human capital factors gaya ng age, education, and work experience. Pati na rin yung mga adaptability points mo. Halimbawa, may kapatid ka ba sa Canada? We're gonna do a deep dive on express entry in a separate video, so watch this space. But in a nutshell, itong express entry, ang score-based system, ang layunin niya ay maging patas at bibigyan ng punto sa mga tao para in a level playing field, pwedeng may chance kayo kung tama at match kayo for Canada. So, it's points-based. You're given points. Kung enough yung points niyo, pwede kayong mag-apply for permanent residence. So guys, for now, yun na muna tayo. 10 questions with Lou. And I really appreciate the questions. If you have some questions in mind, huwag kayong mahiya. Lagay nyo sa comments dito sa video na to. Please like, share, subscribe. Give it to your friends, give it to your family so that they can also make use of this video. And as usual, this is Lou, your immigration lawyer, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.